look for the tasks for U1L6. This is Unit 1, Lesson 6 today. So please go to the Canvas homepage. And again, either scroll down to that table and look for today's date. You should see a plan for U1L6. You can click on that, or go to assignments and look for tasks for U1L6. This is what we're going to be working through today. For homework, you had to post to the Exploring Gravity activity. I am seeing 10 responses to that. There are 14 people in the course, though. So again, if you're having trouble with Flipgrid, you could email a video to me, or just make sure you get that done. Any questions on that, or does anyone need help on that at all? Worked out with dropping the cup and dropping the book and everything? Okay, and the quizzes look like they are in. You just had the little 4-question quiz to do after that. And I think that was it. Beyond that was just getting ready for project stuff, and we're going to spend some time on that today. Okay, we did have 2 last shares for our Google collages, so I'd just like to wrap those up. We have not heard from August or Bianca. Are you 2 ready to share? August, would you be willing to go first?
Sure.
All right, let me pull yours up, and we'll get to it. Hold on one second, I forgot to open the folder. Okay. All right, everything's loading a bit more slowly, of course. Sorry about this, everybody. Not sure why Drive doesn't want to open its folders. Okay, well, Drive isn't working, so rather than waiting through this, we'll just move on. So again, we'll hear from August and Bianca maybe once I can get that working. I don't want to keep everybody waiting. So, all right, then we'll move on to the do now, which is actually a Google form. So on the tasks to complete list, this is step number 2. I'd like you to click on that link right there. It says Science2 Solar System Distances and Kessler Effect. That'll take you to a Google form. This is not graded. This is just meant to as a little review activity. You'll answer 2 multiple choice questions, and then there's a short video clip from a movie called Gravity that I'd like you to watch and answer some questions on. So I'll give you 5 minutes to work through that, but again, we'll come back together once everybody is done with it. So 5 minutes to work on task number 2, the do now, that Kessler effect, and gravity review Google form. Go for it. How many of you have seen the movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney? I'm seeing 1 hand. 2? All right. 3, kind of. Definitely one you should check out, especially now that we're talking about space stuff. It's also pretty incredible, just the special effects they used for it. But a pretty intense scene if you're able to watch it. So let me share my screen here just to take a look at our results. Okay. So what accounts for 99.86% of the mass in our solar system? All of you got that it was the sun. That's from our earlier chapter 28.1 reading. What's an astronomical or AU unit based off of? Again, 100% answering to the distance from Earth to the sun. So everything's sort of relative to that, simplest way we can measure things. And that gravity scene, the whole basis of the movie is very good. Debris will build up, continue, and then you end up on this sort of collision course that'll destroy all the technology. Space bullets, I like that. Hitting satellites, causing a chain reaction, fast orbit, harm satellites, yep. So telecommunications would probably go down, a lot of Wi-Fi would suddenly be limited. Kind of a crazy scenario, but do you think that that's plausible? Do you think something like that could eventually happen? I think it's really interesting right now with SpaceX. So SpaceX is the private company that Elon Musk owns, and they are launching tons of satellites into space right now. They're trying to basically get sort of a 5G network thing going and more stuff to coordinate their own rocket launches. And it's been interesting to see just the ramping up of that and what that could potentially do. They're already seeing that, like when they take time lapse photos of stars, that they're starting to get these streaks because there's so many satellites in the sky now that they're just ruining these photos. And so it's kind of an interesting issue. But I wanted to show you that because when debris like that forms, the problem with this Kessler effect is that that cloud of debris is going to orbit our planet. It's not like the satellite blows up and all the debris goes out into space and we don't have to worry about it. It's the idea that there's all this debris that would be going around. So orbit is sort of an interesting thing that we often think of these huge things like the moon, or even just a space station being able to orbit a planet, but even tiny little things can do it. And orbit might not be what you think it is. And so that's something we're going to be building up to today in our next lesson with our chapter 5 reading. And as we do these presentations about solar system stuff, we're going to be integrating some lessons about gravity as we go through it. So that was just sort of a way to introduce you to that. Okay, so I do have the collages pulled up and I would like to just wrap this up. So Augie, if you're willing to share, I'll pull up your slide right here and you can just talk us through it. And then we'll be wrapped up with this. Okay, here we go. Can you see it?
Yeah, so over the summer, I read my assigned books, as you can see. I went on a few bike rides with my dad, and me and my dad also did a backyard project because we had a bunch of wood piles. So we put all the sticks that weren't really being used and by the trees, and then we put them into a wood chipper, and then we kind of just put it along the our backyard, and it was, I don't really remember what it was for, but it was for something good.
Yeah, usually compost or something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that. And then the beaker represents chemistry, which was my favorite science, and that's it.
Nice. Was there any book in particular from the assigned books that you actually enjoyed, or was it all just kind of a slog?
I guess one that I kind of enjoyed was Fahrenheit 451. It was confusing as all get out, but
yeah, but kind of a cool. Ray Bradbury has some great kind of sci-fi ideas.
yeah.
Yeah. I like the way you put the images together with wood chipper. That's pretty creative. Was it pretty scary using a wood chipper?
For the first time, probably, and then you just kind of get used to it. It is loud, though.
Yeah, it's crazy how loud and powerful they are. So, awesome. All right, thanks for sharing. Bianca, do you be willing to walk us through yours?
Yeah, okay. I spent a lot of time this summer hanging out at home with my family and then also my cat, so that's like kind of looks like her. And I spent a lot of time at the beach with friends too. And I started an herb garden because my family likes to cook a lot, so it's like nice to have that stuff. And I watched a lot of TV, so that's why Netflix is there. And then the topic I'm most interested in for science is environmental, but specifically like the impact farming and agriculture has on the environment and like different diets and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, we'll explore that with climate change. And as part of my master's, I took a whole course called Plants and People, which was all about that and the agricultural revolution. So I'll have to integrate some of that. So is your cat black and white?
Yeah.
Nice. And so what herbs in particular have grown a lot? Like do you have a lot of oregano or mint or?
Yeah, we have oregano, basil, lemon, thyme, like other stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that stuff all grows really well. So great. Okay, thanks for sharing. That wraps up the Google Collage project. Okay, so as I promised, most of this lesson is going to be dedicated to you working in breakout rooms to get through project work stuff. And actually, I meant to make the breakout rooms ahead of time and forgot to do that, so that'll take a quick second. But in the meantime, I'll direct your attention to the tasks to complete list about sharing. This is step number 3. If you want, you can go ahead and click on the Science2C Solar System Project Share. If you click on that, it should take you to a Canvas discussion board. And this is how you are going to be sharing your project. And you can post this at any time. So you don't have to wait to post this till you're done. Honestly, like if you have a link to a Google slideshow or whatever, You can post that even right now, and then as you're working on the project, obviously it'll update and you'll have the final product in that link when we're ready to go. But you can do this whenever you want. But there's also directions there, so please make sure you include your topic title and your names, and make sure that the link you post is set to Stevenson or public so that everybody can open it. That's going to be a key thing. And then I also have a little link there to a Google form, which you're going to use to collect or submit your test questions. So the multiple choice and free response, again, you don't need to do that until you have finished your presentation or given your presentation. But that is there for you to use. Okay, so I'm just putting the groups together in breakout rooms, and then I'll let you go to complete your work. I have a recommended kind of a recommendation kind of to-do list to go through. I encourage you, if you have not done so already, to get a presentation shared between you so that you all can edit the same thing and work together on it. Be sure to visit the tasks or the project description to figure out exactly what you need to cover in the required topics section. I have a couple of resources there. I really encourage you to check out Hewitt Chapter 28, but also the NASA website and space.com are two really good sites, and you can get a lot of good pictures and stuff from there too, and information, especially if you're doing the planets in particular. Okay. One last room. All right, rooms are ready. Any questions on what you're doing? We'll give you the next half hour to do this. Feeling good? All right, breakout rooms are open. We'll come back together in half an hour. I'll drop in. Go for it. Okay, who was working with Harrison? Hey there. How's it going, Augie? I don't know where Harrison is, so.
Yeah, it's fine. I can just do some of this on my own. We already worked on it a little bit over the few days that we had, so.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, then you should be fine. So,
yeah.
All right, I'll drop in again in a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry, I had a bad connection and it kicked me out of the meeting.
Ah, no problem. You're still in the car?
No, I'm at home now.
Okay. All right, let me see. You should still be assigned to the room. So if you click on breakout rooms, you should see a connection to room 2. You're with Nathan.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
All right, we'll let everybody come back in. Okay, we are all back. Everybody feeling good? I'm already seeing 2 replies to our Canvas discussion board share, which is great. Again, you don't have to post there until Tuesday. I know that we're only going to have group 1 and group 2 go on the first day, but I would like to at least have everybody have their share post up, even if your presentation isn't done, but just have a link to it, and you can work on it more if you need to up to the day that you're going to present it, according to our timetable and the project description. And again, don't submit questions to that Google form until you have completed your project or after you've presented it. So those will be the 2 times to do that. But then as you're creating your presentation, think about the questions you want to submit. 1 multiple choice, 1 free response. Homework is on the bottom of the tasks to complete. Your only homework is to continue to get your project pretty much done and ready. Groups 1 and group 2, which is the sun and inner planets, Mercury and Venus, you're going to be going first on Tuesday when we meet again. And then we'll do a little gravity lesson in that as well. But I also would like you to do a little bit of reading about gravity. So that homework assignment that I changed at the last minute, chapter 5.1 through 5.4, again, it's just 3 pages, is also for homework now. And there is a short quiz, literally just 4 questions. And again, you can take it up to 10 times to get that perfect score. So questions on homework? All right, kiddos, that's it for me. I know we have one more thing on the task to complete, but don't worry about it. Thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you.